and the amount of female mystery writers who got to go into hardback as opposed to male mystery writers who went into hardback. And I'm happy to say the industry changed dramatically as a result of that simply being brought to its attention. I also belong to Mystery Writers of America, which is, you know, the old Model X Ford of mystery writer organization, so it's doing its best to drag itself kicking and screaming into the modern world. I belong to, and this is weird, I belong to Horror Writers of America. Now, the Horror Writers Association, I always mix up the A. Because they wanted me to be in an anthology, and only members of HWA could be in the anthology. So when they accepted my story, they deducted $80 from my payment and made me a member of HWA. And I just joined Romance Writers, too, because I understood what a nurturing and instructive organization that was. So I belong to that. And I don't know why, but I belong to International Crime Writers. I still haven't remembered why. I thought that would be a good idea. But I belong to that. And I'm in Science Fiction Writers of America. So, you know, every December, it's dues time. And I've got to say, Science Fiction Writers of America is certainly sharply contrasted with any of the others because it is a violently combative organization. And reading the arguments in their newsletter, you know, most newsletters are just like, we're all happy here. So sold the book, yay! Science Fiction Writers of America is, I will rip the vocal cords from your mouth if you say that again. And you just got to love it.
The other support groups you have besides writers organizations, you've got the homies.
I do.
Talk about your homies.
My homies are Tony L.T. Kellner, the mystery writer, and David Cameron, another mystery writer. And I don't know how we bonded over a gerbil story. And we've been very tight friends ever since. They both live in the Boston area, so we're kind of long distance. But whenever we get together, we have a fabulous time. And we're each other's first readers. And you've got to have a first reader you trust. This is somebody who sees the first draft of the book and you can trust them not to roll the floor laughing or throw up or anything. And I respect Tony and Dana's intelligence. I respect their ability to spot weak points. And I respect their writing ability. So we all do this for each other. And it's really worked out very, very well.
It's important to have friends in the industry that you can count on to tell you the truth. Pick you up when you're on the floor. And I notice you participate in things together. I see you appear in anthologies together.
We do. Tony is really one of the best editors I've ever met, though she's a writer, not professionally an editor. So it seemed like a good move when I was asked to edit an anthology to say, yes, I'll do it if Tony can co-edit, because I knew she was sharper than me at putting her finger on what was wrong with the story. I know when a story is wrong. I know when it needs something. But I'm not always very good at saying what it needs is this right here. And Tony was very, very good at that. So that worked out great. And we edited 3 anthologies together. The third one will be out next year. And we picked a theme for every anthology. The first one was Vampires and Birthdays, and that was Many Bloody Returns. And the second one was Shapeshifters and Christmas. I mean, it's like we all do that. Supernatural weird. And that was Wolfsbane and Mistletoe. And the third one is Supernatural Creatures on Vacation. It's called Best Excellent Vacation. And we love getting our ideal list of writers to ask to be in it. And because they'll all come up, if we have 16 people, they'll come up with 16 different approaches to the same topic. And we just love it when the stories start coming in. Perfect. Have you always been a writer? Always. That's always been my secret identity. I mean, if I could have had a cape and a vest, I would have ripped it apart and there would have been a big W.
Even when you weren't actually writing.
which was for a large part of my life, no. But even when I had to take these really crappy minimum wage jobs, which I did during my first marriage, I always knew that I was a writer and that someday I would be raised above all this.
You're right.
Someday I won't have to worry about standing all day on concrete in the dark room.
So how did you make it, how did you do the transition from secret writer to actual writer?
Well, this was one of my lucky breaks. When I married my real husband, you know, he gave me the option of staying home and writing full time. In fact, my wedding present, and this was high technology then, was an electric typewriter. Yeah.
And then you just sat right down and asked, did you have any formal training, or you just, it was just always in you?
Yeah, it was busy.
You were always a little storyteller?
I was.
You were always a little storyteller. I think one of the most interesting things about Charlaine, from those of us who have had a little chance to get to know her, is that she balances between being a mom, a wife, a person, and a mega writer. So that's a real struggle. We've had some discussions, haven't we? In this conference, we've had some discussions about what it's like to hit that balance. Could you talk a little bit about Charlaine Harris, the woman, the life that you have? Do you mind?
No, I have 3 children. I have 2 sons, 25 and 21. I have a daughter who's 18 and just graduated from high school. I have 3 dogs and a goose. And I'm married. So there's a lot to do. My children are the most important thing to me. And I'm ridiculously and horribly fond of talking about them.
And we are here to listen.
We
want the softball statistics.
You know, my daughter's trying to play softball in college, so she's really good. My sons both have their enchanting points too, but if I get started on that stuff, I've just been very lucky. At first, I thought it's great to write and stay home because I'm kind of a stay-at-home mom, but not. It was very difficult when they were little because I had to hire a babysitter during the summer. It was okay when they started school. But then no sooner did the 2 boys start school than I found out I was pregnant. And I thought, okay, this is bad timing. But it worked out okay. I just kept on working the 3rd time. And it's all, the compromises all working women have to make. This is just a world of compromises for mothers now.
Right. So do you carve out special time during the day when you write? Do you have a special space? Do you have an office? And
I do. I have an office that is attached to my carport. It's actually a separate room under the carport that was originally designated as a mother-in-law apartment, which I'd never heard of before, but I found a really interesting idea. So I work out there, and the big closet used to face outside and be the tool shed. I walled it in, and it opens into the room now, and it's my book closet. And my best friend Paula, who is now my assistant, is in charge of the book closet. I mean, when I first hired her, you couldn't open the doors because publishers send you so many copies of each book, and then the books had started selling in different languages. And I'd been writing for a long time, so you would open the doors and go, oh my God, and shut them. But so Paula has restored all order to the book closet. But now my English publisher just seems to think that I can't sleep unless I have 30 extra copies. So now the English editions are coming in, and I'm going, and Paul said, we're going to have to do something with these too.
Overtaking the place.
Yeah, because the closet's getting really, really bad now. But that's not the only thing she does. She's just super helpful.